Ukraine's drones wiped out a simulated American armored force with alarming speed. Is Trump's heavy armor now a sitting target for cheap FPV drones? A U.S. brigade was reportedly eliminated in minutes during combined resolve exercises, forcing troops and vehicles to be digitally respawned, so the drills could continue. Was it a brutal lesson of Trump on how battlefield rules have changed? U.S. troops had to be respawned after the Ukrainian drone onslaught. The Pentagon was left confronting an uncomfortable truth. Ukrainian drone teams could repeatedly spot and defeat U.S. troops and armor using tactics learned against Russia. America is now racing to catch up in the drone revolution. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has admitted U.S. units lack the lethal small drones modern warfare demands, and that Washington was slow to exploit a technology it helped create. The Ukraine drill exposed Pentagon weaknesses that Iran has already exploited in real combat, as drone and missile barrages have stretched U.S. air defenses and inflicted casualties at American installations across the Middle East. U.S. forces were reportedly overwhelmed by Ukrainian drone teams during NATO's combined resolve exercise in Germany, exposing how rapidly small drones can reshape a battlefield. Ukrainian operators repeatedly spotted and virtually destroyed U.S. troops and armored vehicles, using real-world drone tactics developed on the Ukrainian battlefield. An entire U.S. armored brigade was reportedly eliminated in the simulation, highlighting the vulnerability of heavy armor when drone teams can rapidly detect and target it. U.S. troops and vehicles had to be respawned into the drill after the losses, because the simulated destruction was so extensive that the exercise could not continue otherwise. The 2-week combined resolve training exercise involved roughly 3,700 U.S. troops, including a major armored brigade, and took place in Germany during April and May. The exercise exposed serious U.S. weaknesses in drone warfare, particularly in detecting, disrupting, and defending against small, inexpensive attack drones. Pentagon strategists were later sent to Ukraine to study drone combat tactics, reflecting how urgently Washington is trying to absorb lessons from the war against Russia. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has admitted that U.S. forces lack the lethal small drones needed for modern combat, ordering every Army squad to receive one-way attack drones by the end of fiscal year 2026. Hegseth said the United States had fallen behind in exploiting drone warfare technology, despite being a pioneer in unmanned systems, while adversaries now produce cheap drones in massive quantities. Ukrainian operators also defeated British, Estonian, and Swedish forces in NATO training, according to the report, suggesting the drone challenge extends well beyond the U.S. military. Analysts now see drones as central to modern battlefield success, because low-cost systems can find, track, and strike troops and armor once protected by expensive conventional defenses. The report linked U.S. drone vulnerabilities to deadly Iranian strikes in the Middle East, where drones and missiles have repeatedly targeted American forces at regional bases. At least 18 U.S. service members have been killed since the Iran war began on February 28, while roughly 500 others have been wounded, according to Defense Department figures. Iranian attacks in Kuwait, Jordan, and Iraq caused multiple U.S. casualties. 6 service members were killed in Kuwait, 3 in a strike on Wafafak Salti Air Base in Jordan, and another died while handling a downed Iranian drone in Iraq. Ukraine has unveiled a new drone interceptor as Russia's Shahd threat grows faster and harder to stop with conventional air defense systems. Ukrainska Bavovna unveiled the last Shadow T-200 interceptor at a defense technology event held by the Technological Forces of Ukraine. The drone is designed to protect cities and operate along frontline zones, providing a lower-cost interception layer against incoming Russian UAV threats. According to Militani, the T-200 can intercept Shahd, Geran, Gerbera, and Molniya drones, covering both long-range strike drones and smaller tactical targets. The T-200 reached 122 kilometers in recent combat tests while maintaining a stable video link, substantially exceeding its originally stated operating range of 70 kilometers. The last Shadow T-200 has a maximum speed of 300 kilometers per hour, allowing it to rapidly close on slower Russian attack drones. Its practical operating ceiling reaches 5 kilometers, giving crews the ability to hunt targets flying above many lower-level mobile defenses. The interceptor can remain airborne for 1 hour at cruising speed, allowing it to patrol or search for targets over wider defensive area. At higher speeds, its endurance falls to about 40 minutes, reflecting the fuel and battery trade-off needed for faster interception missions. The drone's initially stated operating range was 70 kilometers, though its recent combat test demonstrated a much longer potential flight distance. During that test, the T-200 achieved a distance of 122 kilometers, showing the system could protect targets well beyond its earlier expected operating radius. A high-quality video link remained active throughout the 122-kilometer flight, a key requirement for pilots tracking and approaching airborne targets. Its motor system provides around 7 kilograms of available thrust, giving the aircraft significant reserve power during climbs and high-speed maneuvers. The T-200 can reach around 35 meters per second, helping it quickly gain altitude against incoming drones approaching cities or frontline positions. Its codified warhead can be configured for different operator requirements, allowing units to adjust engagement settings for different aerial threats. The aircraft uses a PWM signal during aerial target engagement, providing a controlled mechanism for activating its interception payload. A movable camera can be raised or lowered during target searches, improving the operator's view while scanning the sky from different flight angles. The interceptor also uses a movable camera to improve search and target acquisition, helping operators track threats before initiating the final intercept. Its video system can switch channels and frequency bands to counter Russia's Stora spoofing system, which is designed to disrupt or manipulate drone video feeds. The movable camera improves target searches during flight by allowing operators to adjust their viewing angle as the drone closes on a threat. Operators can switch between different video channels if one live feed is disrupted, jammed, or affected by Russian electronic interference. Frequency bands can also be changed during missions, giving crews another way to preserve control and visual contact during an intercept. The feature is specifically designed to counter Russia's Stora image spoofing, which can attempt to distort what an operator sees through the drone's camera. Automatic guidance is now being integrated into the interceptor, moving the system toward faster and less pilot-intensive final engagements. Pilots will first acquire the target manually with a switch, ensuring a human operator decides which aircraft or drone becomes the intercept target. The drone can then continue its final engagement autonomously, allowing the pilot to focus on supervision rather than constant manual control. The airframe is currently 3D printed, allowing rapid local production, but the maker plans to shift toward mold manufacturing within several months. The change is expected to improve the drone's strength and allow it to be reused after landing, lowering the long-term cost of Ukraine's interception effort. Ukrainska Bavovna is also working to maximize the share of Ukrainian-made components, reducing exposure to foreign supply chain disruptions and export restrictions. The company offers joint research, testing, and maintenance services to international partners, positioning the T-200 as a possible exportable counter-drone system. More than 70 veterans at the Dovjik Pilot School are training crews to operate interceptor drones, building the human network needed to deploy systems at scale. The new system arrives as Russia's expanding drone and missile blitz deepens pressure on Ukraine's air defenses and strains troop morale across the country. Putin's drone and missile blitz has left Zelensky facing a new troop morale crisis as Ukrainian soldiers report worsening conditions on the front. Ukraine's 121st Territorial Defense Brigade has reported shortages of food, water, and medicine while remaining deployed near the front line. The soldiers posted their appeal on Facebook on August 9th, according to the Kyiv Independent, highlighting their worsening conditions. Ukrainian soldiers in Zaporizhia Oblast said they had gone without rotation for 4 months despite prolonged frontline deployment. The unit said its troops arrived in April to relieve soldiers who had already spent 8 months deployed in the same area. The new Ukrainian unit was originally told that its frontline deployment would last only 1 month before another rotation was expected. But troops said constant Russian drone threats had made rotation and resupply extremely dangerous across the battlefield. Ukrainian soldiers said drones constantly watched the battlefield, turning exposed roads and supply routes into potential kill zones. The Ukrainian unit said its positions could only be supplied by drone because sending ground vehicles through the area was too dangerous. Platoon Commander Anatoly Sishchuk said deliveries of food could take as long as a week to reach troops at their frontline positions. The Ukrainian commander said troops sometimes received no supplies for periods ranging from 3 days to an entire week. On one occasion, Platoon Commander Sishchuk claimed his troops went as long as 12 days without receiving a food delivery. The commander said his troops no longer had the strength or resources needed to continue holding their positions under such conditions. The unit has asked for safe passage and transport, so its exhausted troops can be evacuated from their current frontline positions. But Operational Command South said the soldiers would be rotated once the security situation allowed such a movement to take place. Ukrainian military rules limit the time troops should remain in frontline positions to 2 months, with rotation normally due after that period. But on a drone-dominated battlefield, soldiers can remain trapped in exposed positions and foxholes for months when rotation routes become too dangerous. Russian forces struck port facilities in Odessa, Ochakiv, and Kornomorsk on August 12, according to Russia's state-run TASS news agency. Russia's defense ministry said the attacks targeted military supply routes and key port infrastructure used by Ukrainian forces. In Odessa, Russia said it hit a military cargo ship, a fuel tanker, and a fuel storage depot during the overnight strikes. Russia also reported strikes on a Ukrainian patrol boat in Ochakiv and fuel facilities in Kornomorsk, according to the defense ministry. A Russian drone strike set a hardware store in Zaporizhzhia ablaze, according to regional governor Ivan Fedorov. Putin's attack also cut power to about 1,200 consumers, while emergency crews battled the fire following the drone strike. A separate Russian attack damaged logistics facilities in Brovary in the Kiev region, according to Ukrainian officials. Ukraine carried out a large attack on Sevastopol that left parts of the Russian-occupied city without power. Sevastopol Governor Mikhail Razvozhayev said the attack damaged energy infrastructure and disrupted electricity supplies. Russian air defenses, aircraft, and mobile fire groups were deployed as Moscow attempted to counter the Ukrainian attack. Ukraine said 4 Russian warships were damaged in a separate strike targeting the Novorossiysk naval base. The damaged vessels reportedly included 2 frigates, along with Buyan M and Vasily Bykov-class patrol ships. Zelensky called the Novorossiysk attack a unique operation targeting Russia's Black Sea Fleet. The Ukrainian president said Kiev used Palyannitsia jet drones, Neptune missiles, and naval drones during the operation.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.